Alright, y'all, so I'm back with another Bible reading. I'm on Matthew 14 to Matthew 13 to Matthew 14, page 48 to 49. This is my New Testament, and tomorrow I'll come back out here and I'll read my Old Testament a little bit more. But right now, I'm out here in Oregon. Found like a new little spot to read my Bibles at, so I'm probably keep coming back here, and then I'll take a little walk after I'm done. But I'm going to try to read at least 4-6 pages. I'm not too sure, but I'll try to go as long as I can before I feel like I want to walk again. So he replied, "This means then that every teacher of the law who becomes a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like a homeowner who takes new and old things out of his storage room." Jesus is rejected at Nazareth. Dang, I hear an ice cream truck, bro. I ain't heard one of those in a minute. But I'm a little bit too old to be going up over there, and I don't got no money on me, so. When Jesus finished telling the parable, he left that place and went back to his hometown. He taught in the synagogues, and those who heard him were amazed. "Where did he get such wisdom?" they asked. "And what about his miracles? Isn't he the carpenter's son? Isn't Mary his mother? And aren't James and Joseph, Simon and Judas his brothers? Aren't all his sisters living here? Where did he get all this?" And so they rejected him. Jesus said to them, "A prophet is rejected everywhere except in his hometown and by his own family. Because they did not have faith, he did not perform many miracles there." The death of John the Baptist. At that time, Herod the ruler of Galilee heard about Jesus. "He is really John the Baptist who has come back to life," he told his officials. "That is why he has the power to perform miracles." For Herod had earlier ordered John's arrest, and he had him tied up and put in prison. He had done this because Herodias, his brother Philip's wife. For some time John the Baptist had told Herod, "It isn't right for you to be married to Herodias." Herod wanted to kill him, but he was afraid of the Jewish people because they considered John to be a prophet. On Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodias danced in front of the whole group. Herod was so pleased that he promised her, "I swear that I will give you anything you asked for." At her mother's suggestion, she asked him, Give me here and now the head of John the Baptist on a plate." The king was sad, but because of the promise he had made in front of all his guests, he ordered that her wish be granted. So he had John beheaded in prison. The head was brought in on a plate and given to the girl who took it to her mother. John's disciples came, carried away his body, and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus. Jesus feeds 5,000 men. When Jesus heard the news about John, he left there in a boat and went to a lonely place by himself. The people heard about it, and so they left their towns and followed him by land. Jesus got out of the boat, and when he saw the large crowd, his heart was filled with pity for them, and he healed their sick. He healed their sick. That evening his disciples came to him and said, "Is it already very late, and this is a lonely place? Send the people away and let them go to the villages to buy food for themselves." "They don't have to leave," answered Jesus. "You yourselves give them something to eat." "All we have here are 5 loaves and 2 fish, they replied. "Then bring them here to me," Jesus said. He ordered the people to sit down on the grass. Then he took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up to heaven and gave thanks to God. He broke the loaves and gave them to his disciples. The disciples gave them to the people. Everyone ate and had enough. Then the disciples took up 12 baskets full of what was left over. The number of men who ate was about 5,000, not including the men and children. Jesus walks on water. Then Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side of the lake, while he sent the people away after sending Oh, well, he sent the people away. After sending the people away, he went up to a hill by himself to pray. When evening came, Jesus was there alone, and by this time the boat was far out into the lake, tossed about by the waves, because the wind was blowing against it. Between 3 and 6 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came to the disciples walking on water. When they saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and screamed with fear. Jesus spoke to them at once. "Courage," he said. "It is I. Do not be afraid," or "Don't be afraid." Then Peter spoke up. "Lord, if it is really you, order me to come out onto the water with you." Oh, order me to come out on the water to you. Sorry about that. "Come," Jesus answered. So Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water to Jesus. But when he noticed the strong winds, he was afraid and started to sink down in the water. "Save me, Lord," he cried. At once Jesus reached out and grabbed hold of him and said, "What little faith you have! Why did you doubt?" They both... Oh, crud. Oh, my page is flat. Hold on. They both got into the boat and the wind died down. Then the disciples in the boat... They both got into the boat and the wind died down. Then the disciples in the boat worshipped Jesus. "Truly you are the Son of God," they exclaimed. Jesus heals the sick and generous. They crossed the lake and came to the land at Gennesaret, I'm not too sure, where the people recognized Jesus. So they sent for the sick people in all the surrounding country and brought them to Jesus. They begged him to let the sick at least touch the edge of his cloak, and all who touched it were made well. The teaching of the ancestors. Then some Pharisees and teachers of the law came from Jerusalem to Jesus and asked him, "Why is it that your disciples disobey the teaching handed down by our ancestors? They don't wash their hands in the proper way before they eat." Jesus answered, "And why do you disobey God's command to follow your own teaching? For God said, 'Respect your father and your mother, and whoever curses his father or his mother is to be put to death.' But you teach that if a person has something he could use to help his father or mother, but says this belongs to God, he does not need to honor his father. In this way, you discard God's command in order to follow your own teaching, you hypocrites. How right Isaiah was when he prophesied about you. 'These people,' says God, 'honor me with their words, but their heart is really far away from me. It is no use for them to worship me, because they teach man-made rules as though they were my laws.' The things that make a person unclean. Then Jesus called the crowd to him and said to them, 'Listen and understand. It is not what goes into a person's mouth that makes him ritually unclean. Rather, what comes out of it makes him unclean.' Then the disciples came to him and said, Do you know that the Pharisees had their feelings hurt by what you said? Every plant which my Father in heaven did not plant will be pulled up," answered Jesus. "Don't worry about them. They are blind leaders of the blind." And when one blind man leads another, they both fall into a ditch. Peter spoke up, "Explain this saying to us." Jesus said to them, "You are still no more intelligent than the others. Don't you understand? Anything that goes into a person's mouth goes into his stomach, and then out of his body. But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and those are the things that make a person ritually unclean. For from his heart comes the evil. For from his heart come the evil ideas which lead him to kill, commit adultery, and do other immoral things, to rob, lie, and slander others. These are the things that make a person unclean, but to eat without washing your hands, as they say you should, this does not make a person unclean. A woman's faith, Mark 7:24-30. Jesus left that place and went off to a territory near the cities of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman who lived there in the region came to him. "Son of David," she cried out, "have mercy upon me, sir. My daughter has a demon and is in terrible condition." But Jesus did not say a word to her. His disciples came to him and begged him, "Send her away. She is following us and making all this noise." Then Jesus replied, "I have been sent only to the lost sheep of the people of Israel." And at this, the woman came and fell at his feet. "Help me, sir," she said. Jesus answered, "It isn't right to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." "That's true, sir," she answered. "But even the dogs eat the leftovers that fall from the master's table." So Jesus answered her, "You are a woman of great faith. What you want will be done for you." And at that very moment, her daughter was healed. Jesus heals many people. Jesus left there and went along by Lake Galilee. He climbed a hill and sat down. Large crowds came to him, bringing with them the lame, the blind, the crippled, the dumb, and many other sick people, whom they placed at Jesus' feet, and he healed them. The people were amazed as they saw the dumb speaking, the crippled made whole, the lame walking, and the blind seeing, and they praised the God of Israel. Jesus feeds 4,000 men. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, "I feel sorry for these people because they have been with me for 3 days and now have nothing to eat. I don't want to send them away without feeding them, for they might faint on their way home." The disciples asked him, "Where will we find enough food in this desert to feed this crowd?" "How much bread do you have left?" Jesus asked. 7 loaves, they answered, "and a few small fish." So Jesus ordered the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, gave thanks to God, and broke them, and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. Sorry, I kind of lost my... Broken, gave them to the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and had enough. So Jesus ordered the crowd to sit down to the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, gave thanks to God, broke them, and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and had enough. Then the disciples took up 7 baskets full of pieces left over. The number of men who ate was 4,000, not counting the women and children. Then Jesus sent the people away, got into a boat, and went to the territory of Magadan? I'm not too sure. The demand for a miracle. Some Pharisees and Sadducees who came to Jesus wanted to trap him, so they asked him to perform a miracle to them, to show them that God approved of him. But Jesus answered, When the sun is setting, you say, 'We are going to have fine weather because the sky is red.' And early in the morning you say, 'It is going to rain because the sky is red and dark.' You can predict the weather by looking at the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs concerning these times. How evil and godless are the people of this day. You asked me for a miracle. No, the only miracle you will be given is the miracle of Jonah." So he left them and went away. Sorry about that. There's a lot of noise out here, but that's fine. The yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. When the disciples crossed over to the other side, of the lake, they forgot to take any bread. Jesus said to them, "Take care, be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees." They started discussing among themselves, "He says this because we didn't bring any bread." Jesus knew what they were saying, so he asked them, "Why are you discussing among yourselves about not having any bread? What little faith do you have? Don't you understand yet? Don't you remember when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000 men? How many baskets did you fill? And what about the 7 loaves for the 4,000 men? How many baskets did you fill? How is it that you don't understand that I was not talking to you about bread? Guard yourselves from the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees." Then the disciples understood that he was not warning them to guard themselves from the yeast used in bread, but from the teachings of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Peter's declaration about Jesus. Jesus went to the territory near the town of Caesarea Philippi, where he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" "Some say John the Baptist," they answered. "Others say Elijah, while others say Jeremiah, some other prophet." "What about you?" he asked them. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah and the Son of the living God." "Good for you, Simon, son of John," answered Jesus. "For this truth did not come to you from any human being, but it was given to you directly by my Father in heaven. And so I tell you, Peter, you are a rock, and on this rock foundation I will build my church, and not even death will ever be able to overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. What you prohibit on earth will be prohibited in heaven, and what you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven." Then Jesus ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Jesus speaks about his suffering and death. From that time on, Jesus began to say plainly to the disciples, "I must go to Jerusalem and suffer much from the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law. I will be put to death, but 3 days later I will be risen to life." Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "God forbid it, Lord," he said. "That must never happen to you." Jesus turned around and said to Peter, "Get away from me, Satan. You are an obstacle in my way." "Because these thoughts of yours don't come from God, but from man." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone wants to come with me, he must forget himself, carry his cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Will a person gain anything if he wins the whole world but loses his life? Of course not. There is nothing he can give to regain his life, for the Son of Man is about to come in the glory of his Father with his angels. And then he will reward each one according to his deeds. I assure you that there are some here who will not die until they have seen the Son of Man come as King." The Transfiguration. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and the brothers James and John, and led them up a high mountain, where they were alone. As they looked on, a change came over Jesus. His face was shining like the sun, and his clothes were dazzling white. Then the 3 disciples saw Moses, Elijah talking with Jesus. So Peter spoke up and said to Jesus, "Lord, how good is it that we are here? If you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was talking, a shining cloud came over them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my own dear Son, with whom I am pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard the voice, they were so terrified that they threw themselves face down on the ground. Jesus came to them and touched them. "Get up," he said. "Don't be afraid." So they looked up and saw no one there but Jesus. And they came down to the mountain. Jesus ordered them, "Don't tell anyone about this vision you have seen until the Son of Man has been raised from death." Then the disciples asked Jesus, "Why do the teachers of the law say that Elijah has to come first? Elijah is indeed coming first." Answered Jesus, "And he will get everything ready. But I tell you that Elijah has already come, and the people did not recognize him, but treated him just as they pleased. Inogonize him, but treated him just as they. In the same way, they will also mistreat the Son of Man." Then the disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. Jesus heals a boy with a demon. When they returned to the crowd, a man came to Jesus, knelt before him, and said, "Sir, have mercy on my son. He is an epileptic and has such terrible fits that he often falls in the fire or into water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him." Jesus answered, "How unbelieving and wrong you people are. How long must I stay with you? How long do I have to put up with you? Bring the boy here to me." Jesus gave a command to the demon, and it went out of his body, and at that very moment he was healed. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked him, "Why couldn't we drive out the demon?" "It was because you do not have enough faith," answered Jesus. "I assure you that if you have faith as big as a mustard seed, you can say to this hill, 'Go from here into there,' and it will go. You can do anything." Okay, so I'm on Matthew 17, page 60 to 61. I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. We're at Jesus speaks again about his death. So for now, I think that's where I'm going to stop. Probably take a little smoke break out here, just hit my joint like once or twice, and just enjoy the beautiful landscape that we have out here. But tomorrow I should be back with another video, and I'll upload this one right now, and maybe I'll have another gaming video soon, but I just haven't really been feeling well, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been going through a lot of stuff with my family, and it's good that we're going through this because we're being able to talk to each other, but I just sometimes feel like I don't really do anything right, and I know that's not true. That's just me feeling like that because, I have done a lot of wrong stuff to people, but I just want to feel like I'm actually doing something good for once, and it's hard sometimes, but again, people don't have to forgive you for what you've done. They can still love and care about you, but they don't have to forgive you. And I hope soon that they can. I hope soon that I can be better. I hope soon that I can, show them that I do care and that I do want to help out and that I do want to do more stuff. But for now, it is what it is. I'm going to still keep trying my hardest, and that's what I think all of y'all should do. If you feel like you can't make it up to somebody or you feel like some people don't love you, that's not an excuse to start then disobeying them or, then start running away and, "Oh, well, I don't want to do stuff for you anymore." That should be more of an excuse for you to actually do more stuff and to help them more, to show them that you care for them. But again, for now, that's going to be it. Tomorrow I'll have another video, and I'll either come back here or I'll go a little bit further down this road and see what else I can find. But thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless you guys all, and stay safe out there.